Okay, so like I was on the Young Turks comment section, and we started talking about online dating and scary stuff happening and stuff. And I said, yeah, I should do a video on this. And then you see this picture of Israel Keys, and I'll explain that. Um, I had tweeted about this actually the other night, and I'm trying to get more into the thing of doing my blog and getting my YouTube page back up. So, um, how do I explain this? So we were talking about scary dating things or anything like online, all this stuff. This was sort of a fluke too, and I'm gonna go back because I had started um kind of doing this web sleuthing thing with the what was it the McStay case, and I had kind of popped in the middle of it, so I didn't know like all this stuff that happened prior that people were trying to like pin the brother and all the other weird shit that was going on. So I came in, I started asking questions to people like online. I'm like, so when the brother came in, and so people started attacking me, but I didn't know all this other stuff that was going on. I wasn't trying to pin the brother at the time. So I was trying to get the information of the story because I thought the friend did it, the one that chased Merritt. So that's the person who I thought did it from the beginning. So I started doing a blog, and I started going down through all that stuff, and I did get a weird comment when I was talking about him. So I don't know if it was him or a family member or some weird person didn't like me talking about him. But then I had some other people kind of really going off on other weird places, and I kind of entertained that a little bit. And so then I started questioning one of the other worker guys that he had with him that I thought he was a creepazoid too, and I was like, there's always that possibility, but Chase really fit that description. So once I already hit that point, it started getting kind of creepy because I live out in Southern California and that guy was still free. And I was literally having nightmares when I was like going through the case because I was piecing things together, going, well, he had enough time to drive from here to there and do what he did. And so I had kind of a really good picture of what happened, but I didn't know like where he did it and what manner, but we knew that he came out and killed them, or he had either killed Joseph out there and came out here and killed the rest. So it was some sort of scenario like that. So we were trying to figure that out. But anyway, so once we went through all that, I was like, we should probably look at some other possibilities. And some other people were talking about this Israel Keys guy. And so when I went to look into him, um, right away he didn't look familiar. I mean, he didn't come across as somebody I might have ran across until I started going through his old pictures. And like this picture right here that you're seeing, but this picture here, I believe, was in 2008. So, and I'm not saying it's him. He just, it just could be that it's triggering my memory of this other person. So, and the reason would be is his hair, his fucking hair. And so, and his height. But we'll go back on that. So in early 2000, um and I don't think I was doing any dating websites at that time. Like I don't think I was doing that. I cannot tell you what I was doing, but I know that I was interested in houses and buying houses and real estate. I was really big on wanting to do all that stuff. And so I don't know if he was on a website that was for entrepreneurs because that's what he claimed he was. So he had posted stuff, and the only thing I can think of from what my memory, I don't recall him coming to me. It was me responding to something that he posted. That's the only thing I can remember from that. And then like so, there's a possibility he wasn't even from here. And this was out. This was when I lived in Rancho Cucamonga for a little while. So strangely enough, close to that Chase Merritt guy. So um, and that was before any of that. Way, 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 way before any of that. And so this is probably like in. I've been trying to figure the years. It was either between 2002 and 2004. So in between that block of time, I somehow conversed with this person. He didn't have a photo online. I don't believe it was any type of dating thing. I believe it was some business type of site or some bullshit. I just do not remember. And so, anyway, we started conversing, and somehow it came into, oh, you want to meet? We can go have lunch. So they drove to some place, had me meet them there. So, I didn't have them come to my house or do anything like that. So we went and met in a public place in the middle of the day, and we started talking. And so at the time, I used to read tons and tons of books, and I liked business books and stuff like that. So as we were done with this date, um, he takes me to this car, and I don't even remember the car, just some dark colored car. And he pulls out, and I believe it was like in his trunk or his back seat, somewhere in the back part of his car. He's like, I have this book, so I'll give you, would you like this book? And so, I figured you'd like this. So he gave me this book, and I can't tell you what book it was. I have no idea. And it probably had something to do with business or some type of philosophical self motivator type of thing. It might have been something like that. It was a big thick, paperback book. And I remember I took it home and I started reading some of it, and it was really boring. Like, there wasn't, I don't know, like something about the book, I wasn't really feeling it. And that's probably why I can't remember it. And I remember everything I've read. Every single thing I've read, except I cannot remember this fucking book. So then I hadn't heard from him for a long time. So I figured, okay, well, we probably didn't hit it off, whatever, no big deal. I mean, it wasn't anything. It was just the little lunch thing, and then I hadn't heard from him, and I could swear it was like a month later. It was like a long period of time. It was a long period of time in between, and then I randomly get this call, and he's like, hey, I just wanted to see, whatever, how I was doing, and if I still had the book, because he wanted to come and get the book back, and then take me out to dinner. And I was like thinking, okay, the dinner thing, okay, fine, but that's kind of weird. It's like a month later. And then two, I thought he gave me the book. And I'm kind of like thinking, well, maybe I misunderstood. That's what I thought. I thought maybe I misunderstood. Maybe he lent it to me and I misunderstood what he was saying. And so I started thinking about that now, like today, like, who the fuck does that? Like, why would you lend a book to someone you just met to come back and get it? This was a very strange thing. So anyway, that didn't raise any flags with me. It was just like, oh, maybe I misunderstood. So then they're like, okay, we're gonna go out, and I'll be there at, it was probably like at, I don't remember what time it was. I know it was nighttime and it was dark, and it was close to my bedtime. So he probably said like, I'll be there at 7 or some bullshit. And he doesn't show up. So like, I was sitting there going, okay, he's supposed to be here now. So an hour goes by, and I actually had him, he was going to come and get me this time at my house. But, I had my roommate guy there and then their kids there, which I don't think he knew I had a roommate and those kids there. So I told him, you can come pick me up here. We'll go somewhere like close by. That way, he wasn't, like, there was nothing that freaky about the guy, and I'd already met in public with them, outside of that. So he doesn't show up for like an hour, and then like, I was getting ready to go, you know what, I'm about to just get undressed and go to bed, like get ready for bed and just call this like over, because nobody called. And I was like, I think I'm getting stood up. Like, I've never been stood up, well, no, I have one other time, but not like that. Totally different scenario. But I've never had anybody do a date like that and then just not show up like that to come pick you up. So, anyway, he shows up an hour later and he starts acting kind of weird. Just really weird in the car. And so I was like, yeah, here's your book. And so he got his book back, and he's all happy about getting his book back. And then, now, so we're driving, and I just remember just feeling strange, just strange. Like there was this really weird vibe, and I don't know what it was, but I was just like trying to talk to him, and he was just kind of like something was going on inside of him. And that's the only way I can express that. So we get to the restaurant. There's people there. I mean, it was pretty packed. I mean, it's not like there was nobody at this restaurant. And I don't even remember the restaurant. It was kind of like a Marie Callender's type of thing. It was not that far from the house. And um, yeah, so we're sitting there. And so I order my food. And the lady asked for him to order. And he said no. He didn't want anything. And then he turns to me and he's like, yeah, I already ate before I got here. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I don't even know what to say about that. Like, it was the most bizarre thing ever. It's like, why am I here then? Like, why didn't I just stay fucking home and eat? Like, he wanted to take me out, so then he's not eating. And so the whole time, he's sitting across the table staring at me like he wants to murder me. Like, this look of just like, I want to kill you. Like, this look. And I couldn't figure it out, so I'm just kind of keeping my head down. I'm like eating, and I'm trying to talk to him, but he's not really talking. And he's like really like pissed off, like this anger about something, and I'm just like, I'm totally lost and confused here because this guy had me come here to get a book, and then he wants me to eat. So then the waitress comes over, gives us the bill, and he throws it at me, and I'm like, what the and I didn't bring my money. I didn't have any. I wasn't expecting that. So I was like, yeah, no. And so he's like, um, you're gonna pay for that. And I was like, and this is before, mind you, first of all, he's the one that initiated the date and wanted me to go to dinner with them. So this isn't something where I asked him to go to dinner with me, and you know what I mean. So this is long before like anybody would even expect me to start paying for their fucking meal like that. So it was just the rudest thing. So, well, it wasn't rude. It was really fucking scary because then I was kind of like, okay, I don't know how to get out of this situation because it's dark outside. And if I run outside, you might sit there and tell them that I'm trying to run out on my bill. Like, this is what was going on in my mind. So then, because he took off for like a moment, like he was all mad, like he was all crazy. No reason at all. So I was just like, okay, I can't leave. I can't leave. And I don't know what to do. There's going to be a scene. If I try to run, he might tell them like I'm trying to run out on my bill, doing something like that. And so I didn't know what to do. So I just stayed there, kind of like, okay, I'm in public. What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? I don't know. So then he comes back and he's like, okay, we need to go to an ATM. You're going to an ATM. And I was like, no, no, no. That is like, I don't have an ATM. I don't have any money. Like, I was like, going, I have no money. Okay, now, mind you, this guy presented himself also online as a very successful entrepreneur. So, this isn't coinciding with things at all. So, oh, I don't know what's going on here. So, anyway, um, and there was no reason to be doing this either. So, I don't know what was going on. So, he's like, we're gonna go to an ATM, and I was like, I don't remember. I somehow got myself out of going to the ATM, and so I had to go in the car with them. So like we're in the car, and I said, I might have some money at the house. So I was like, if I can get to the fucking house and I can get out of the car, then my roommate's there, which I honest to God believe that he didn't think that that guy was gonna be there. So I don't know if maybe the situation got weird because of that. I don't know, but this guy was psychotic, and he was trying to get me to go to an ATM, and he was trying to get money. But I think it's a lot more than that because I don't understand why he dropped me off a book and disappeared for like a month, then comes back And then something got foiled. Why is he angry? Like, why is he mad? Like, why did he not eat? Like, he was all crazy. And in the car, I was sitting there by the car door going, okay, if he does anything weird, I'm going to fly out this car door. So I was getting ready to jump out of a moving car. So, like, the whole time I was, like, at the door, and he's screaming and yelling about wanting money to go to an ATM, and I'm just, I didn't know what to say. So he gets to the house, and once I open the car door, he's like, it's not even about the money, and he got all crazy and he fucking took off. So I was able to get out and be safe. Okay, so this person resembled that picture. So the thing that they resembled is the hair. It may be a totally different person, but the person that did that to me had dark hair and it was really curly and it was kind of long like that. And they were tall, but they were thin. And they may have even been thinner than this picture. But this picture here is a couple years older than when that happened. And from my memory, I think that the guy was just a tad younger than me, which this guy is. So I don't know. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm not really sure. But what I do know is they did look similar to that person. So whoever this other person was is a fucking psycho. Fucking psycho. So and the thing, I kept thinking about it. I was like, it's really strange because the book thing, I was like, why did they leave a book, take off for like almost a month, and then randomly out of nowhere call me up and then pull this shit? It was like planned, like this is my way that I'm gonna get come back or something. I don't know. That's how I took it, and I never understood it. I never understood that. And so anyway, we are talking about the dangers of online dating. So um regardless if it was him or another person, that was not good. So, but actually, it was actually the smartest thing for me to do in this scenario. Um, because I felt like I couldn't say anything at the restaurant. Like, I felt like he was gonna pin something and twist a story. Like the whole time, like I don't understand why the waitress and them didn't think anything odd here, because like I was sitting there eating and he was just sitting there staring at me like he wanted to kill me like the whole time. And he didn't eat. So I was just sitting there eating like I don't know what's going on here, and then did that. So I got kind of freaked out. Like I thought like he was going to play some game to where I couldn't leave and I was going to get in trouble or something. Like I don't know, that's what was going on in my mind because of the way he was acting. And I didn't know, I didn't understand any of that. So yeah, but later a couple of my friends went through some online actual dating sites, so they kind of talked me into doing those. And I didn't have any bad experience, nothing like this. This was so fluky, like just some oddball weird fucking fatal, I could have probably been murdered and killed and been like his first victim or something. Like I don't understand what happened there or who that was. But the other guys, some of the ones that they my friends did that, like a lot of my friends were into doing that. They're like, let's try this out, you know, you might meet some cool guys. I'm like, all right. So we tried out a couple, and most of the guys that were on there were just like a bunch of liars. Like they would put some picture that didn't even look like them, and then they kind of like pretended about their lifestyle and whatever they did, and like none of it was even true. And um that was that. I mean, there's really nothing to go to talk about on those. They're just a bunch of, I don't know, most of them were losers, dude. I mean, that's how that goes. And I didn't have a bad experience from dating sites. And then like years before online and stuff, they used to have oh my god, and I was gonna look for the company before I did this video thing and I forgot the name of it. They used to send out, like, it was like in the early 90s, they used to send out a video, like a VHS video, or like a pamphlet to people to try out this like dating company, and they were in Newport Beach, I think, their main company. But anyway, so I was all young out here and I worked all the fucking time, and I thought, you know what? Oh, let me go down there. That might be kind of fun. I don't know. That's what this is like this is my young years. So I go down to the company and they give me the whole spiel about, how they do the dating thing, and they go through this whole process of like, God, how did it go? Like, you just did these questionnaires and they do this like formula and this bullshit. Anyway, so at the end of this whole spiel, they're like, okay, well, the cost to do this is $5,000. And this is like in the early 90s. And I'm like, yeah, I can't afford that. But thanks, that was kind of cool. So, I'll see you guys later. They're like, no, 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 no. Like, they did not want me to go. Because I picture that they probably got so many guys at this company and hardly like any pretty girls. So they were just like desperate to get girls. So they're like, okay, well, if you pay $50, just don't tell the guys that you only paid 50 because these guys are paying $5,000, blah 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 blah. So don't tell them. So what ended up happening was, um, I was supposed to get like 5 dates for that $50, and I actually paid the $50. So I was like, all right, because I felt like I was getting this like massive deal. It was like they wanted 5,000, and so I gave them 50, which was really still stupid from back then. So I go on. I think it was like the first 2 or 3 dates, and I remember like the first guy I'll never. It was like the one of the Gillette men, and he like came with this like sports car with his like Pat Boone shoes, these like white shoes, and he just talked about himself, and I was like, no, this is not really for me. Nice guy, but it was all about him. And then, but it was a decent date, like, nothing bad happened. And then they put me with some like cowboy kind of like some weird guy. And then no, the worst one was they're like, okay, this is the ambassador son of the Philippines, and you do not tell him, because I guess like that guy, whoever he was, the ambassador son of the Philippines, that's who they told me he was. They're like, I guess he was really nosy and asked everybody how much they paid, or he was a plant of some sort. I don't know, but anyway, he kept bugging me and bugging me and bugging me about how much I paid for the company to join. And so then I finally tell him, and then they got pit. Oh my god, he went back, and I guess he like had a big old fit about it. And then and he was not good looking. I don't even know why they set me up with that guy. He was like really tiny, and like we didn't have anything in common, and he was like real weaselly. And so he goes and throws a fit like a little kid, and I guess they got pissed off, and so then they had to fulfill their thing with me. And so they sent me out on this bad date with somebody that was like totally not even my type. The guy was nice, but it was like a big fuck you to me. So then I didn't get. I think I was supposed to go on one more date and I didn't. I was like, no more, because they're gonna try to get me back or something. So yeah, but yeah, I'm just not a big fan of the online dating thing. But there are some people that meet some really great people from all over the world. My friend met her partner from playing video games. So maybe it's in the sense of, I don't know, it just depends. Like, it depends, but you have to be really careful. Like, this guy, I do not believe it was on any dating site. It was just a random business site or something. Like, we just ended up talking. That's all I remember from that. So yeah, I mean, you just don't know. And yeah, I met in public first. I didn't have him come straight to my house that day, but at some point you're going to. So I mean, it was kind of like the second warm up day. Well, you can come pick me up now. So, but you just never know when that's gonna happen. But after that, I was kind of like, I think from now on, I'd just rather be single and just not date anybody. I was like, really, honestly. And some people might ask, like, why didn't I tell the cops? Well, if anybody has followed any of my story about cop stuff, well, nothing ended up happening to me at the end of the day. Even though he was trying to get me to go to the ATM, he did not succeed in doing that, and he didn't succeed in getting any money from me, which he was trying really bad. And I was thinking this whole time, like, I'm analyzing it differently than I did when it happened. Like, I didn't really understand what the fuck happened. And so I was thinking, like, when he did that, he might have done it on purpose to see what I was going to pull out, how much money, if I had any money, because he might have been plotting to do something to me. So this is kind of the other point of that, that it's really serious. So thankfully, I was a broke bitch at the time because I don't even think I had a bank account. If I did, I told him I didn't. So, or it was overdrawn. Some sort of thing, I told him so. And then I didn't have any cash on me. So I never carry cash on me. There's a million reasons why I don't. And this is one of them. But so like this is kind of how that goes. But that can happen. That can fucking happen. And that could have ended up really, really fucking bad. But what I had good going is that somebody was at my house that seen him when he got me. So if he had any plans, it may have been fucked up because there was somebody at the house. They were seen. We were also seen in public, which is, so I don't know what he was thinking he was going to do. This was also, God, how many years ago that was? That was like 12, 15. Yeah, it's quite a few years ago. I mean, they still had surveillance and stuff like that, but I mean, had I been alone and nobody was at my house, like who knows what that guy was going to do. Like just when you think of the whole scenario, it's kind of like it was really lucky that somebody was there. And then so when I had him come back, I told him I might have had money at the house. And so when we got there, what's he going to do now? Cuz now I have a witness guy. Is he going to go kill like the whole family? Like I don't know. Like he didn't he was on the verge. He was very serial killerish like in the car and at the fucking restaurant. So if they ever had like a video camera of it, I mean, oh my god. I can never explain exactly how that felt and what it looked like being in a public place with people all around you and someone just staring at you like they want to kill you, like, and they're not eating and they're staring at you and you don't even really know them, like you met them one time and you're like eating and they're just watching you and you're just like in this open public space. This is the kind of shit that these type of men do. So you don't even know what the hell's going on. I could have been kidnapped and nobody would even know. Like I'd be out in public like that and I'm just like, I don't know what to do because I feel trapped. I feel really trapped because I feel like they're going to play a game if I try to do something. If I try to leave, like he's going to play a game and say I'm trying to run out without paying. So, anyway, if I didn't feel like that, I would have ran. Like today, maybe if that happened, I might have just ran to the manager and said, "Help, call 911." I mean, I don't know. Like, it's a scenario that I've never heard before. So, and it's still one of those scenarios that I'm like, I don't know what the fuck happened there. And again, and there's a possibility it could have been him. I have no fucking idea who it was. I have no idea who the fuck it was. But that happened. So, yeah, that's my story of online dating.